I've realized something. People look at appearances for some reason, and they don't look at skills, abilities of boxers. So, take for example Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz. Now, I thought that Anthony Joshua would beat Andy Ruiz. I was one of those people who believed that he would. Andy Ruiz beat Anthony Joshua. And some people say Andy Ruiz looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy, whatever. He didn't look like a guy. He didn't look like Apollo or a guy really in great shape and stuff. And Andy Ruiz beat Anthony Joshua, right? Now, Lennox Lewis. In terms of accomplishments, Lennox Lewis again blows Tyson Fury out of the water, right? Lennox Lewis beat 10 champions, I do believe, and former champions, present, future. Undisputed, beat Evander Holyfield basically twice. They gave him a draw the first time. Beat Mike Tyson, etc. Tyson Fury, the only two big heavyweights, real heavyweights that he beat was Vladimir Klitschko and Deontay Wilder. Okay? No other world champions and all of that. But having said that, in a head-to-head, who do I think would win? Now, we're talking about Emmanuel Stewart training Lennox Lewis and Sugar Hill Stewart training Tyson Fury. So the Sugar Hill trained Tyson Fury goes up against the Emmanuel Stewart trained Lennox Lewis. Can I envision Tyson Fury beating Lennox Lewis? Absolutely. Again, superior reach, superior height, can fight, can infight. Lennox Lewis would have to do something that he's not used to doing, which would be try to get to the inside of Tyson Fury's reach. To reach Tyson Fury. If Tyson Fury decides to keep the fight long and switch it all night, remember Lennox Lewis has never faced a southpaw in his career. And Tyson Fury could go southpaw. So there's just a lot of kryptonite things Tyson Fury can do. When it comes to abilities, Tyson Fury has more skills than Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis depends on his jab. Can throw some uppercuts on the inside. He had a couple of things he could do. He could do infight a little bit. But mostly he used his jab most of the time. Keep the fight long. So in this case now, Lennox Lewis, it's not just about keeping the fight long, because Tyson Fury, he's got longer reach. He's got quick feet. And the thing that Tyson Fury has that Lennox Lewis did not have was the conditioning to go hard for 12 rounds. Tyson Fury could keep at a certain pace and not let up. Whereas Lennox Lewis, he tired as the fight went on, and he had to pace himself. Very economical with his shots and stuff, because heavyweights like that with all that muscle mass, they get tired. Tyson Fury is a naturally bigger guy than Lennox Lewis. That outweigh him and everything. So on the inside, he could use his weight and size on Lennox Lewis. It's very awkward as well. So there's a lot would be going for Tyson Fury. Why I think even a head-to-head clash with Lennox Lewis, I think Tyson Fury would beat Lennox Lewis. Right? But again, you can't take that away from Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis is arguably one of the greatest, if not the greatest heavyweight of all time. When you put everything together, his accomplishments against the who's who of boxing. He beat everybody that was put in front of him. Yes, he lost 2 fights, but he went back and avenged those 2 fights. Tyson Fury has never lost, obviously. But the thing is that with Tyson Fury, he doesn't have that longevity to be put up there with those guys, and he doesn't have the resume to put up there with those guys. So this is where you can't just say he's the greatest of all time, because he doesn't really have that resume. However, if Tyson Fury were to beat the winner of Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk, who would be the next top guy in the heavyweight division, and then let's say he becomes undisputed. Okay, he's not undisputed right now. Probably he will vacate the WBC title, which is a stupid idea, but anyway, whatever he wants to do. But let's just say, because Tyson Fury had the opportunity to become undisputed, so we could have had an undisputed heavyweight champion. But he's talking about retiring, He's made a lot of money in the sport, so I can understand that. But I wouldn't let him off the hook like that. I would say, hey, no, no, no. You have to face the winner of Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk, which I think he will, because let me tell you something about Tyson Fury. I've realized he's got to stay boxing. He has to stay in a regiment. He has to be doing things. So if he's not doing anything, he's going to go in a depression. So I know he's going to come back to boxing, and I know he's going to face the winner of Usyk and Joshua. I just don't know why he's vacating the WBC title. I think that's counterproductive. Keep the WBC title. Hold on to it. Take your vacation. Go in recess or whatever, and come pick back up your title. Don't leave the title for Deontay Wilder and you never become undisputed. That's kind of counterproductive. Might as well kept the title with that. But again, Tyson Fury, you never know what's going on through his head. But quite frankly, I don't think he should retire. But that's my opinion. If he wants to do that, then that's up to him. But I would like to see the winner of Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk, whoever wins there, Tyson Fury face those guys. Okay? Title or no title. And knock off the top guys, because there's only two more top guys. Or one more top guy. The winner of Usyk and Joshua will be the last top guy that Tyson Fury would need to knock off. Either knock off Klitschko, either knock off Wilder, and the only other top guy is either Usyk. Right now, Usyk's the top guy, and Joshua's right below him. So if he knocks off Usyk and Joshua, that's it. You knocked off everybody. The top guys of your era, you can ride out into the sunset after that. You know what I mean? Because you knocked off everybody. And if you want to add the cream on top of it, you're going to defend your title right after that. You defend the title against another top guy, and you can call it a day. That's the way how you do it, I would say. I would think. And you'd be making more and more money with every single fight. I don't know if that's what he would do. I think he's talking about retirement and all that, but I know he's too much of a fighter to just try and just get out the game now. I think he's gonna come back and fight for undisputed. I think he's gonna do it, or whoever the top guy is, knock that guy off. But we'll see. I don't know, but I believe that's what he's gonna do. If he doesn't do it, it'll be disappointing. I mean, it is what it is. But I think he's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that's special. And I think he could knock off all of them. I really do. But he would have to go and do it. You have to do it. You can't just have people saying, vouching for you. That's not enough. That's brownie points. Don't care about that. Want to see it happen. So I'm hoping that whoever, whether it's Usyk versus whoever it is who has the belts, Usyk has the other belts. If Usyk's the champion, whether Tyson Fury has the WBC belt or not, if Usyk comes out and prevails against Joshua, if Joshua comes out and prevails against Usyk, Tyson Fury should face that dude. And I think he would. You know why? That would be a huge money-making event, especially if Joshua wins. It would be a huge money-making event in the UK. That would be big. So if Joshua were to beat Usyk, I'm guaranteeing you Tyson Fury will come back and face Joshua. I'm guaranteeing you that. Now, if Usyk beats Joshua, it's not as big. It won't be as big a fight because Joshua's been building, and you're going to be a UK guy. If Usyk beats Joshua, it's not as big a fight. Maybe Tyson Fury doesn't come back. Y'all will say he ducked Usyk. I hope not. But if he comes back and beats Usyk, it really doesn't matter if he was undisputed or not because he would have been the last WBC belt holder, ABC belt, but he's undisputed because he beat the next champion, you know what I'm saying? So unofficially be undisputed. So it wouldn't really matter, but ultimately in the end, if he beats the winner of Usyk versus Joshua, whoever the guy with the other belts, he basically have beaten all the top guys. And now the thing about it is to show, I always believe undisputed is not enough. You have to now defend your undisputed title successfully. And so if he was to defend that undisputed title successfully, let's say against, like I said, maybe Joe Joyce or whoever is next in line, successfully, maybe Wilder again, who knows. If he would defend the title successfully, he could ride off into the sunset if he wanted to, and call it a day. But I still don't think Tyson Fury will ride off into the sunset until he has, you know, fulfilled something that he's supposed to fulfill in boxing, and then he could, go right off in the sunset, train, do whatever, do his exhibitions, whatever, you know. So that's what I got for you guys. Do I think that Lennox Lewis has been for a very long time my number one heavyweight of all time, and the reason being because of what he was able to do in the sport. Now, of course, 2003 is long since passed. His era is long since gone. It's almost 20 years since he's been on the scene, and we've never had an undisputed heavyweight champion since then. It's been much harder to become undisputed anyway. We've never had a four belt undisputed heavyweight champion. So whoever does that makes history, and that just adds another chip to the accolades. When you talk about it. But Tyson Fury is an exceptional fighter, and I hope he continues to fight and he continues to win. Um, Unbelievable guy. I called it wrong. I thought Klitschko would have beaten Tyson Fury. He never did. And since then, Tyson Fury has really impressed me as a heavyweight boxer. And again, he's a boxer. He's a boxer. Fundamentals is in boxing. Anyway, people, that's what I got for you guys. I'm what you need. Peace.